Hey guys, it's Dr. Justin Marcagiani here today. Hope you guys are doing well. Today we're going to be chatting a little bit about constipation and slow bowel motility. We're going to dive on in. We'll talk about some of the root causes, some of the things you can do to get to the underlying solution and also get some relief too. Before we do, make sure you smash that like button. Really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Put your comments below. Let me know things that you've done to help support and enhance your bowel motility. All right, well, let's dive in. So constipation essentially is if you don't have a bowel movement for at least 24 hours, that's constipation, okay? So if we start to go longer than 24 hours, you're officially constipated. Congratulations. Number two is we kind of have like our like Bristol stool chart scale, right? So we start to have like one is going to be like your pure kind of constipated consistency, hard, pebbly, usually passing less frequent. And then you have all the way to the right, number 7, which is going to be pure diarrhea, pure liquid. 4 is right in the middle, and then you kind of have gradations, you know, more to the loose, more to the constipated side as you go closer to 1. Very important. Now, you got to get to the underlying issue why you have constipation. So one of the first things we can look at is not enough enzyme and acid production. Inadequate levels of HCl or enzymes, you're not going to be able to break down, make the digestive juices, have that nice low pH, activate your pancreas, activate your gallbladder to produce bile, all these things to break down your food. Food broken down in its smaller constituents, smaller parts, is easier to move along that intestinal tract. Number 2, if we have migrating motor complex issues, this is these wave-like contractions that help kind of move stool through your intestines, kind of like in a toothpaste container, right? You kind of roll that toothpaste to kind of move the toothpaste out, same thing with your stool. So we need those nice, good wave-like contractions. Now, if we have a lot of sympathetic nervous system output, we're stressed, we're go, 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 our diet's crappy, a lot of food allergens, work stress, not having enough time to really be quiet and present in your meal, that could really activate the sympathetics, which shuts down the parasympathetics, thus decreasing that migrating motor complex, all right? And then the next thing is if we have Sebo or bad bacterial overgrowth, the gases that are produced by these things, whether it's typically on the methane side, right? The methane gases also tend to disrupt that migrating motor complex as well. So Sebo overgrowth, bacterial overgrowth, dysbiosis can also affect it. And even yeast overgrowth too. You have various mycotoxins that are produced. Mycotoxins are fungal toxins that are produced by the yeast themselves, and they can disrupt motility as well. Same thing with parasites. Parasites can disrupt it too. And with parasites, you could also go the other way. You could have pure diarrhea too. I've seen amoebic infections. You have just pure liquid coming out. It's actually one of the major causes of death in third world countries because you get amoebic dysentery, you don't have the IVs going, you'll get electrolyte issues, hyponatremia, cardiac arrest, etc. So in general, if we kind of recap, we have enzyme acid issues, we have dysbiosis issues, we also have food allergy issues. We talked about sympathetic stress, right? So adrenal stress, cortisol, adrenaline issues. Food allergies can cause that. So a gluten sensitivity or a casein dairy issue. These can all be common sources of stress from the food side. I would say even things like FODMAPs could potentially be a problem. FODMAPs are fermentable oligodisaccharide mono and polyols. These are basically healthy carbohydrates that are in like onions and garlic and Brussels sprouts and broccoli, really good healthy vegetables, right? We want to eat them normally, but if you have bacterial overgrowth, that can feed some of those bacteria and maybe make more methane. You tend to see more hydrogen gases with diarrhea, but every now and then you can see that kind of switch. You can see hydrogen issues actually cause constipation too. So what can we do about it? We can sit down, take a deep breath, kind of make space for ourselves to eat, not eating on the go. We could take good nasal breaths that activates the parasympathetic nervous system. Prayer meditation's also very helpful. Taking good HCl or enzymes is great. You can sip things like chamomile or ginger. That kind of gets that natural migrating motor complex going. Chewing your food up well, right? At least 32 chews, 1 chew per tooth. That breaks up that food to an oatmeal-like consistency, makes it easier to break down. Adding HCl and enzymes, but I didn't say that. Cutting out food allergens, gluten, dairy, processed refined sugar and grains is a great first step. You can look at going a low FODMAP if you need. Adding in ginger. Ginger is amazing because it has a natural migrating, it's a natural prokinetic. Prokinetic meaning it kind of helps stimulate those wave-like contractions even better than a lot of medications that are designed to do that. They've done studies looking at ginger compared to like different prokinetics, and they do better across the board. I would say other things you can do is you can always dose up magnesium a little bit. I mean, magnesium too high will cause diarrhea, but you can always use that as a gentle kind of nudge in the right direction while you get to the underlying issues, while you address the Sebo, the food allergens, the HCl, the enzymes, the potential gut issues, the sympathetic adrenal stress. You can work on getting to the root cause while you're kind of having some palliative support in the meantime. Same thing with like prunes. Those can be helpful as well. Maybe not a root cause support, but hey, if we can get some relief in the meantime, that can be helpful. And of course, we have the ultra extreme would be like a water enema, which would help move things. But I typically wouldn't recommend that unless it's incredibly severe and it's, either that or going to the hospital, right? So those are a couple of options there, hopefully, that kind of gives you a good root cause perspective. If you guys want to dive in deeper and you want more support at getting to the underlying issues and rolling up your sleeves, click down below. You can schedule a virtual consult with myself and or colleagues anywhere in the world. And we'll also open it up for some questions for y'all. What's happening? Let's dive in. I'm going to try to take questions pertinent to the conversation here. All right, let me see what's going on here in YouTube and Facebook world. If you have a good bowel movements, but you have to wipe constantly, what does that say? Okay, so typically means you're not breaking down your fat, right? The excess wiping or skid marks, right? That's just not breaking down fat. So you can see it if your stool's floating, that's one sign, a lot of fat. If it's blonde or clay colored, a lot of fat. Skid marks, that's wipes. You may just want to, you could see it in the morning with MCT oil, right? MCT oil can cause a laxative effect. You may get it from that too, because your body's pushing out some of that MCT, okay? It could happen with inadequate HCl or pancreatic enzyme sufficiency, right? Or gallbladder issues, not enough bile. So all those are potential things. Easiest thing is to add in some digestive support, maybe add in some lipase, maybe some bile support, and see how you do. Great questions. I'm going to try to hit the questions that are pertinent to today's topic, guys, all right? Does foul smell in the stool or flatulence say anything? Yeah, foul smelling, flatulence, right? Farting, that's methane gas. The sulfury smell, that's methane. Hydrogen gases tend to be more neutral, okay? Hydrogen, more diarrhea. Methane, more on the constipation side. So your foul smelling flatulence could be connected to your bowel movement motility being slow, okay? Does ascorbic acid, vitamin C, absorb good on its own? Should I eat it from fruit? Vitamin C with food is great, but if you want it supplementally, that's great. Drinking ginger juice from ginger. Yeah, so ginger in general is a great prokinetic. So that's another good one for keeping your bowels moving. Great questions, guys. I'm going to keep rolling here. All right. So in general, easy low-hanging fruit is going to be the HCl, though. It's going to be the easiest simple thing out of the gates. It's going to be one of the easiest things. All right. I'm going to keep rolling, guys. Outside of that, get a high comprehensive stool test to see what's going on. That can be very helpful at getting to the underlying issues and what's happening there. Very good. Next thing I would say is get your HCl, get your enzymes up there. Work on chewing your food adequately. Really important. Next thing is make sure you are not overly hydrating with your meals, right? Water's got a pH of 7. Your intestines are a pH of 1, 1.5, 2. So if you take a whole bunch of 7 with 1.5, guess what? That pH starts to get more alkaline and you lose that acidity. So very, very, very important. All right, guys, hope that helped you today. If you guys want to dive in deeper, click down below. Chew your food, decrease stress, enzyme acid, good bile support. Do all the right things, and I think you'll be on the right track. If you need, reach out to myself and colleagues down below. We're here to support y'all. All right, guys. You guys take care. Take care. Bye.